made it tough for you guys to run. What did they do to limit your options in the running game today?
They're just, a really good and well-coached football team. Their safeties fire down. They're really involved in the run game, and their linebackers, coming in the box and just, they just made plays when they had to. They're a really good team.
You made a pretty athletic play to avoid that sack. Just take me through that. How you escaped the sack in the first place?
I don't know. And those kind of situations, it's all just kind of a blur. And then once you get outside the pocket, you kind of come to realization, just look downfield. Hopefully, receivers out there, you give them a chance. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, something that, I have the ability to do, break tackles and, just keep fighting, get outside the pocket and, just try to make a play.
Israel, you lofted it up to him. You thought you just at least give him a chance to try to catch the ball?
Yeah, exactly. I saw him out there and, I saw a couple guys trailing him and obviously I wanted a better ball than I threw. It kind of fluttered out and, Izzy's just a great player. He's a great receiver, can go up and make those big-time plays when we need it and, just got up over the defenders and came down with it. It was huge for us.
Do you think this is the toughest secondary you face this year?
Yeah, I think so. Just they're just so well coached. Year after year, just the depth they have and just how active their safeties are, and their corners did a good job at kind of screwing up my reads, and a couple times I had to force a couple balls in there that I shouldn't have thrown and made some mistakes. So they're a really good team and a really good secondary as well.
Can you take us through the two-point conversion? There was a guy I think that was running right at you. What did you see when you took the snap?
Yeah, I knew we were going to get pressure on it, and try to protect it up as best as we can. And then a guy came in scot-free, and I just tried to give once again try to give Izzy a chance, and just just didn't come down with it. Just didn't work for us.
You guys battled coming in today. What does the team take away from this game as you mentioned before?
The biggest thing we take away from this is, as a team, we're not going to stop fighting. I don't care what the odds are against us. I don't care how much time's left in the game, what the points are looking like on that scoreboard. We're going to come out there. We're going to finish full 4 quarters. We're not going to quit.
How big was it losing Ontario and Clark in the same half, pretty much?
Yeah, when you got experienced offensive linemen who, they know all the calls, are really comfortable out there, and losing Garrett and Jake was, really big, but, that's part of the game, and we got guys who can, step up, fill in, and, when their number was called, they came in, they did a good job, and that's all we could ask for them.
Was the biggest disappointment just not turning the turnovers into touchdowns today?
Yeah, and, that's something we're going to focus on, even, a couple of weeks back, that's kind of our thing. We get in these scoring zones, we get in the red zone, these scoring situations, we got to put touchdowns on the board. We can't just settle for field goals. So, that's definitely going to be a point of emphasis here for the last 3 games of the season. And, it is disappointing. We get, huge turnovers by our defense. They put us in a great position, good field position, and, we definitely got to convert those to scores.
What do you think went wrong?
I think just starting off, we struggled, to run the ball, like you said, and, on first and second down, we got behind the sticks. And, when you're second long, third and long, and, you can have their defense dropping, 7, 8 guys, it's going to be tough to convert. And, we struggled on third down converting today. That's another point of emphasis as well. So, we just got to be able to, establish a run game and just, move the chains, get some yards on first and second down, and, give ourselves a chance on third down. You coming with me, John?
Yeah, I'll be there in a sec.
All right. Wait out here.
Yeah, please. Anything else? All right,
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
You coming with me, John?
Yeah, I'll be there in a sec.
All right. Wait out here.
Yeah, please. Questions for Marquise Jackson? Marquise, you just talk about their big plays, just the run, the pass, and why was it tough to limit their big plays today?
We were just undisciplined, failed to hit a couple holes and they gassed us. Other than that, we held our own pretty much. It's just the big explosive plays is what really hurt us.
How much did you think they wore you down?
They're a very disciplined team. They keep doing the same thing over and over. Other than that, I felt pretty good. I mean, as a team, we played pretty good. We held our own. Just the big places where it really hurt us.
Well, can you tell us, if you remember the 50-yard play that Frazier scored shortly after you guys played within 6? Just looked like it was a simple run to the right, and they just were able to clear you out.
What was that? I wasn't in that drive, so I mean.
Well, it's obviously the tackle.
I mean, he's a good runner. You got to bring your feet and wrap, squeeze. He runs through arm tackles, so I mean, he's a pretty good runner.
Just you guys cut it to 6. Just how disappointed were you guys? We're just weren't able to turn the tide. They answered all of your scores.
I think we was very disappointed because we really capable of beating that. We was really capable of beating that team. We had our chances, just failed to make our plays and get off the field and make plays on offense when the time was called.
Last question. What do you take from this going forward? Still have 3 games left.
We just gotta play our game, do our assignments, and because there's no quitting this team. I mean, we always battle to the end and give our all. So I feel like there's no quit, and we're a real good team. Just the numbers ain't short.
Coach, how about you make an opening statement, and then we'll take some questions.
Well, very disappointing loss. I thought our players played hard. We just made the mistakes that'll get you beat, and that's giving up big plays and not being more consistent when you need it to offensively. So you got to give North Dakota State credit. They have a lot to do with that. But, this was a game that, we play better and be a little more consistent throughout the game. We had our opportunities, and that's the fine line that exists right now between us and them. They know how to do that, and we haven't quite crossed that line yet.
Coach, like you said, they had some big plays, but your defense also forced 2 turnovers and they missed 2 field goals. Just why weren't your offense able to turn those into touchdowns?
Well, that's always key. Our kicking game was very solid. That's a positive there. We were converting those into at least points, but you need touchdowns to beat a team like North Dakota State. When you got an opportunity to score, you want 7, you don't want 3, and again, you got to give North Dakota State credit. Their defense, there's a reason why they're ranked the top defense in the Missouri Valley. They're very solid in their schemes. They're very aggressive, but we're good too. So, we got to make those plays for us to be calling ourselves a team that can contend at this level. We got to make those plays and turn them into 7 points.
And you had the top scoring offense in the league. What was the offensive breakdown?
Well, it was a consistency thing early on. That's where we got wore down defensively. I thought we really played a good first half. Even there, we gave up a long run. It's defensively, what we're struggling with is giving up the big play. You can't give up a 77-yard pass. You can't give up those long runs. You take those couple plays out of the picture, now you play a pretty good defensive game. Well, we didn't. We gave those up, and part of that is you get wore down, and that's where in the second half, especially, when we needed to step up and make those plays defensively, we just couldn't do it. So, and that's the consistency factor. The offense stepped up. They scored. They gave us chances to win. We recovered that onside, and who knows what happens after that. So it's not like we ever hung our heads and considered the game over. We fought to the very end, and we're just not there.
They answered all your scores.
Well,
for the kickoff.
yeah, even the 2-point conversion, that was, we're going to watch that film, and it's going to sting because we're going to see areas that are very correctable, things that we're capable of doing that we just didn't do, and that'll be the frustrating thing with watching the film, but that's the nature of the game. And even with the 2-point conversion we went for, now you get it 21-21, and it just, we could never quite get over that hump to feel like we were contending to win that game.
How much did losing Clark and Ontario hurt you?
Well, you got your, two of your best linemen that go down. That's going to make a difference too. But I thought Matt Griffith did a good job. He was prepared. He came in. So David Meyerhoff came in for Ontario, and he's played a lot of football. So again, we're not going to be using injuries as an excuse, but naturally that's part of the game.
Do you think they're out for the year?
We'll have to wait and see. So it's always tough on game day to really know.
You spoke about the fight of this team there a minute ago. I guess what do you take away from this game? They hung in there for this team. How can you take that kind of moving forward? How can you know this team?
Well, my message to the team is, this is a team that their team has won 4 national championships. They'll be contending for a 5th. Now, whether or not they get it, I don't know. But it's at a level that they'll have a chance to contend to it. So, we're trying to build this team to be at that level. And that's what we got to make those evaluations. Where do we have to make improvements to have us be at that level? And it is a fine line. I don't think you saw a game today where, the one team was just that much more dominant than the other team. The numbers are a little tricky just because of the big plays that were involved. But at the same time, our guys battled back, made some big plays ourselves that gave us a chance to make this close. So there's work to be done, no doubt. And that's where we just got to find ways to continue to get better.
Do you feel like playoffs are still a realistic possibility?
I even addressed that too. I didn't want the guys thinking, too much on it. Realistically, it's out of our control. Chances are that 6 wins, you're going to have some impressive wins come up. But for us, we just got to go to work again and get ready for South Dakota. And playoffs is one of those things right now that's probably the furthest thing from our minds. It's just trying to find a way to get that next win is what we got to be focused on.
And every game that you guys played so far, besides the Missouri State game and the Liberty game, you guys have been going back and forth against your opponents. What kind of statement is this that you want to say to other opponents that you face throughout the season?
Well, I think everyone that plays us, understands that it's going to be a game that's going to go 4 quarters. I think all the teams in the league, it's just that good of a league. I think you got a league that majority of the teams are top 20 caliber. There's just not that big of a difference in the talent level amongst all the teams. And so I think we're in the mix. The negative is our record's not reflecting well on it, but there's not a team that we're going to shy away from or a game that we're going to go in that we don't think we can win, and that's real. I mean, that's not one of those coach speak type things where you're saying, hey, we got a chance to win this. Well, we do have a chance to win those games. We had a chance to win today. We make a couple plays here or there, things go differently, and that's where watching film is going to be a sock in the gut, because you're just going to see things and you'll shake your head and why are we doing that?
Coach, what will you remember about Mark's effort today? His effort?
Gutsy. The one play that he threw it up there, broke a couple tackles, threw it, a prayer up to Israel. It was good to see Israel come back, make that catch. That shows you the character of this football team. That shows you the fight that exists. I think Mark exemplifies, what this team is all about. he doesn't question a call. I mean, for as many times as we run him up the gut and you know it's going to be a huge collision, you know, he doesn't shy away from it. I mean, he just calls the play and goes. So, you know, he's just kind of the heart and soul right now of our football team, just because of the toughness that he carries himself with.
Anything else? Thanks.
All right, thank you.